Hi, the Pew.
It's the Pew. Welcome to the Pew on Monday morning.
Michael is back from Indiana. He went to South Bend, Indiana to visit his family and reconnect with old friends and check out the city that he grew up in and to visit a storage unit. So, what did you think of South Bend? I mean, has it changed much since
Well, it hasn't actually. I mean, it's grown. It's there's a lot more of it. So it's kind of the same South Bend, but more McDonald's and more Burger Kings and more, shopping centers. It's just bigger. And every street corner looks exactly the same.
Every time I go back home I grew up in Sacramento, California, and often when I go back there, a lot of things that I remember from my childhood are no longer there. They've been torn down, and I always think of that song by the Pretenders, Ohio, where Chrissie Hynde sings about going back to Ohio and all the things.
Go back to Ohio!
Everything's been torn down. It's now shopping malls and parking lots.
Right.
Did you see?
But it was always shopping. It was shopping malls and parking lots when I was living there. There's just more shopping malls and parking lots now. And then they're the same exact stores. I actually got lost a few times in South Bend because each corner looks almost exactly identical. It's got, a Shell station and a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Kentucky Fried Chicken and a drive-through bank. And
that's something that I refer to as the suburban wasteland.
Yeah,
I find it very depressing, which is why I can't live in California. Yeah, that's why I can't live in California.
I was just, and everybody was asking me, how do you like it? I was like,
we don't.
I don't. That's why I left. I mean, I'm sorry to say. I love, the people there. I've met a lot of people there who felt the way I did and want to leave too.
Who did you meet?
Well, this guy Russell, for instance, who's a really great painter, and I just came from Todd's. We were doing my website, and he looked up on Twitter and he saw some of Russell's paintings, and he was like, "Is Russell selling his paintings? They're great. I want to buy some." And I mean, Russell is somebody that needs to move to New York.
Who else did you meet?
Well, this sounds like a loaded question.
No, I'm just wondering.
Well,
viewers want to know.
I met a young man named Tyler.
Tell us more.
Who was a very good friend of a very good friend of mine named Andrew, who was my mother's beautician. And Andrew and Tyler picked me up one night and drove me around South Bend. And
we'll leave it at that. We'll be right back. It's the Pew.
Welcome back, and we're talking about something totally different now. Whatever we were talking about before, it's going to be something totally different. We're going to bring you something fresh each time we come on the air. It's something fresh.
It's more of the same. Michael's trip to South Bend, Indiana.
Yes, but it's a different part of the trip. It's not the part where we were doing what we were talking about.
Well, while he was there, Michael had a storage unit there. So when he was in Peru for 17 years, a lot of his priceless treasures were stored in this storage unit, and he actually got to go there, unlock the box, and look through stuff. And he brought back a lot of stuff, especially a lot of old invitations from nightclub parties.
And not only, I brought back a lot, but wait till you see what's coming. There are 7 boxes more coming.
Not to my office, I hope.
No, they're coming to my post office box. But there was just way too much for me to carry on the plane. I mean, it was just, it was just unbelievable. I brought back some examples. Things that I had forgotten about: posters for clubs, for Tunnel and Limelight, that I never even knew existed, and I directed those clubs. They were.
See, but I'm not surprised that you forgot, because you have to remember that at one point, Michael worked in an organization that had 4 clubs, and each club had to have at least half a dozen, if not a dozen, invites every week for all the different events.
At least.
So you're talking about almost 60 invites a week,
right,
for a few years. So how could you possibly? That's like hundreds of invites. So there's no way that you could remember them all.
Right. Yeah, well, I brought back some
a select few.
I brought back some that are just too risque to forget. Like these, I don't know if you.
I'll hold it.
Okay, the Squirt. Wow.
It's Michael naked
on the cover of Squirt magazine. It's actually an invitation for my birthday party, and you can see.
Well, it's all backwards, but there it is.
Says, everybody strip naked for Michael's birthday party. Michael Alig's birthday porn fest. and inside are pictures of all of my friends, naked or nearly naked, all of my friends and Michael Musto. Naked or nearly naked. And this was a sort of a scandal at the time because it was just, I think it was just before Madonna's sex book came out. And there was the scandal of whether or not people would be really naked. Peter didn't want everybody, Peter questioned whether or not we were allowed to have people really naked on an invitation.
Allowed by who?
By the State Liquor Authority, by just, I don't know by who. By the Moral Squad, which there is in New York City. But you know, we never let that stop us before. And I think I probably told him that we're not going to be naked, but then we were. And not all of us were naked. I'm naked. Christopher Comp is naked. People were surprised by how big Christopher's dick was because he had an erection when they filmed it. When they did his photo shoot. Michael Musto covered himself, you know, like a coward.
Tastefully.
Like the coward that he is.
Tastefully.
Tastefully, like the tasteful coward that he is.
All right, what are you looking for more?
This is one of my favorite. This is a Disco 2000. Well, it's going to be backwards, but it's the Toucan Sound, Follow Your Nose. And there's also, it's a sticker. And there's also an interesting story about this because it used to say follow your nose on the invitation, like the tagline on the commercial. But when
follow your nose.
Yes. When the drug enforcement agency started following their nose,
it led right to Limelight.
And especially to Disco 2000. And Peter made us take Follow Your Nose off the invitation. He thought that would be the thing. of everything that we were doing at Limelight, Follow Your Nose was the one thing that he was the most afraid of, and the one thing that he said we have to take off the invitation.
Some tired old phrase from a cereal commercial.
Right.
It's too extreme for Limelight.
Too extreme for Disco 2000. Again, it's backwards. So the pea drinker. This was with a picture of Art Linkletter. You'll have to You'll have to Google him. But I want to tell you something. Art Linkletter has been even when we were making this invitation. So
he was a has-been.
It was a joke. Yeah. It was a joke that we put him on there. But
the pea drinker, everybody should know, was not a one-time event. I mean, that was almost weekly.
By the end, it was almost weekly. He was so popular. I mean, like, everybody loved the pea drinker.
Yes, it was command performances over and over.
And I remember one time that he didn't tell his parents, obviously, what he did. Only that he worked at Limelight. And his mother called one night asking for Sebastian, and the receptionist didn't know who he was. And she said, he's the DJ. And she's like, oh, you mean the pea drinker? And his mother's like, what? She's like, yeah, he drinks pee every night on the stage.
Yep.
So there's plenty.
Surprise, Mom.
Surprise, Mom. There's plenty more where that came from, and literally thousands of invitations.
Yeah, we'll look at more in the next episode.
Look at more in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.